Okay, let's go. We got a video for a set of KZ. It's a dynamic driver, and it's called the Zenith. If you are subscribed to this channel, go ahead and comment below. And a unique melody, Mest Mark III, gold and black, that was going to go out previous video, but I deleted that because it was just a ranting rage. And so everybody comment on that, sorry, but if you were there then and you're here again, you just comment, or you get another chance to get a $2,000 set because you commented below a video about a KZ, but you're really just kind of showing support as a subscriber to this and the unboxing channel where this will be announced. Congrats to that person. Yeah, I'm really doing that, a KZ, and then the unique melodies, a giveaway, and then this is my last one. The other two actually went out already. This is a dynamic driver, and its claim to fame: every set, step one, has got to have some reason for you to buy it, period. There's got to be some kind of angle. And a lot of the angles are just total bullcrap. But this is maybe, scientifically, it's totally legit. But how does it work out? This has got a larger magnet. Remember, this is the functioning 2-inch subwoofer that I bought, and if you familiar with subwoofers, magnets are related to really transients and speeds and efficiency. A larger magnet works better. It's a little more complicated than that, but magnet good. Good magnet, really good. Larger is usually better. It's never going to hinder the performance, and it's very likely to help with it, particularly in the low end. That's what they're saying. So this thing's claim to fame is a physical thing, and it is a larger magnet. Looking at it, I thought, this looks familiar, and you, as a viewer of my channel, might be familiar with the Melee. The Melee had a few things that were brought up. One was the condensation in the shell. Fair enough. The C&D driver, I believe, the mid-bass in it, and the overall resolution was, it was a warm, engaging sofa set, but it wasn't the most, if you're a detail freak, like that's not for you. This is tuned much like the Melee, but clearly sounds, pun intended, like a better set. It's more expensive than that set was, but it does sound like a better set too. And let me go ahead and get into music. So is the magnet thing working? I don't know if it's that or it's the membrane. Remember the membrane, which is the top of the driver, and the driver is made out of really kind of plastic, thinner than this is thinner than the Coca-Cola bottle, which is a petroleum-based plastic. Most drivers are that in a layer cake with other materials on it, and a lot of it's total garbage, but some metallics do stiffen the driver and make the response back to transients seem a little bit faster, which makes decay sound a little bit faster and unnatural to some people. So titanium coatings for this person, no. Beryllium seems to be better, particularly in the low end. But getting back to the music, so it does sound like a good set. In the low end, Big Boy, Killjill, Kendrick Lamar, Peekaboo, stuff like that, where we're using like 808 type deck synth mixes, it does hit good, it hits clean. These two, the 1110 setting, I'm sorry, I'm not sure why there's multiple settings on this set. I think it would have been better not to do that. That's my message directly to Ty and KZ. Overcomplicating it, lower the price by $10 by taking that little board out, and just release some really good DDs would be my advice. And this would be one of those, because I wouldn't play with the dip switches beyond the first setting like most people do. So deck mix drops sound fine. 4 and 5 string bass guitars, the pulls, the plucks, the releases of the strings. Listening to this and A-Being with the Melee, it clearly sounds like a much better replay. It sounds more accurate. I talked to somebody on Hi-Fi Guides who's a drummer. Again, I used to play a little bit of drums and bass guitar. I wanted to be John Bonham, I wanted to be John Paul Jones, and I wanted to do it now. Like a lot of people out there that didn't ever finish up and skipped after like their 15th lesson. I just didn't have the attention span to commit to it. But that instrument, and when it sounds great, it sounds like you're in a room with the musician. Because when you listen to music, you hear a lot of production, compression, limited, stuff that's applied to it, which is very different from being in a room listening to a drummer, not mic'd up. You're just in the room with him, and he's playing, and he's good at what he's doing, and he's got a nice setup. That's the reference. It's not something that's not mic'd up. It's not a produced something. This does 4 and 5 string bass guitars quite well. Bottom's kick drum is supposed to have emphasis. It does, in fact, have emphasis. It sounds good. It doesn't get in the way for other tracks. The bassist isn't encroaching for the Dire Straits Sultans of Swing track. I thought it did that really good. As we move into vocals, Chris Cornell, Lane Staley, Blondie. The Melee kind of struggled with female vocals because of the amount of mid bass. This set is doing better than that. A being adjusted 77 dB off of the head amp 6. I thought that this sounded better. Is it new bias? Sometimes that's the case. This was clearly a clearly better set. Sounding clearly. So there was no, this is new. My collab's done a long time ago. They don't even sell it anymore. No, it sounds better. And if my set was live right now and it dropped a month ago, you guys all know me. It's very easy for me to say something sounds better than what I collabed with, because to say otherwise when I really know it is to discredit myself. Diminish, I guess would be a better way to put that. People can see faking the funk on an open court dunk is a big mistake, so don't ever do that. This actually sounds like a much better Melee. So female vocals sound better than on the Melee, and they actually sound good to my ear. As we get into excuse me, harmonics and overtones, which is a big deal, cymbals, rides, crashes, electric guitars or acoustic with or without distortion pedals, keyboards or pianos. There's a ton of energy going on that's not related to really the fundamental sonic events. It's the noise that was created. This does quite well, and the point that Melee comes back into this, because while that sounded like a kind of smooth, not dark but close to that, this doesn't really sound like that at all. The biggest difference between the two sets would be the mid bass and also what sounds like overtones that are beyond 10 kilohertz. While this shows this as being better than the Melee by about, well, actually 10 dB. That's significant. It sounds a lot cleaner overall. Going back to bass guitars, it's related to that as well. It just seems like a complete replay of the instrument. I'll leave you guys there. I think they did a good job. My advice to KZ would be, you're in a hobby space a year later after having controversy where some other companies have really showed themselves. And they're also talking about custom drivers. And I know what's going on about the custom driver thing, and I'm going to start drilling on that. And you really, really need to study hard before you start to defend companies. Because number one, defending companies is what are you getting out of it? I've done over 20 collabs. I don't even defend companies. What are you doing? Take a look at yourself. And if you're defending the use of custom drivers, when I know for a fact that Knowles and Sony, the two biggest, when you do a contract with them to do custom, which costs you more money than buying Knowles and Sony and off the shelf, you have the right to say that these are customized Knowles. You only have to look at Music Tech or other places to see where they say that. They paid for the right to do that. Custom drivers, get out of here with that. And the people that are promoting that, 2025, you know, there's going to be, it's an arena and you're on one side or you're on the other. Drivers matter or they don't. This is tuned really good, it's just being held back by the drivers. I'm sorry, my hands up. What does that actually mean? It's being held back by drivers. Well, what are the good drivers? And who makes the good drivers? And why is that set handicapped by the drivers? Because what are they exactly? And the set that costs $2,000 that has clearly not association with Knowles or Sonian. It gets into a complicated sphere, doesn't it? And it reminds me of KZ. And I'm going to finish with this. KZ was having a back and forth on Facebook with Truthier, which was amazing to see, and it was really a foolish thing for Truthier to even get into. It's not their business, and they're another company. And I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, this is going to go bad. And then, bang, KZ says, we know what drivers you use in Truthier, we know where you get them, and we know how much you pay for them. So they ripped down the fourth wall because they were being attacked by another company who would make profit off diminishing them. And I said to everybody that was on Hi-Fi Guides at the time, this conversation is going to shut down like right now. There's no way this continues. Like, no, you don't, or anything like that. And Truth Ears said something like, and then they disappeared, because you don't want to get into that topic about where stuff comes from and how much you're paying for it. And when a company says, we know where you got it and what it is and how much it costs, you know they know. So, you know, what's that? FAFO, fuck around and find out? That's what Truth Ears did. That was a stupid move. That's why companies don't typically go after other companies, because they all got a little bit of something. They're trying to make money. Where are you making your money? Is it the drivers? Is it production? Is it where is it that you're saving and making your margins? Don't talk about other people's stuff, because they might know about yours. And in this case, KZ's been around for a long time, and they know everybody gets their stuff. So if you're gonna jump on KZ and say they use crap stuff, they don't actually, and they use balanced armatures that I believe they make and they number and they identify. You like them or not is up to you. I'm not a big fan of BAs or KZ's BAs, but at least they're numbering them. So yeah, little tangent there, but Zenith, it's a good set. It's a improved melee. And go ahead and comment below, and we got the unique melody Mess Mark III, and that's the last of the CIMs to go out. Comment, like the video, and I'm out.